going to talk to you about a little bit of directing that I did. When I was younger and in college, I actually just out of college, I ran a theater company called the Rose Theater. Oh, I loved it. It was based off of one of Shakespeare's theaters. He had the Rose Theater and the Swan Theater, so those are my two favorite names. But anyways, I directed 7 plays, and a lot of them were classical theater. And one of the things about directing classical theater, and I also went to UC Irvine, which is top 3 in the nation for, or at the time was top 3 in the nation for drama. So it was absolutely phenomenal to go there. And I learned a lot about Stanislavski. He was a director of plays, and pretty much he was also like a great acting teacher, and he's probably like the grandfather of all the acting teachers that we have right now. So, but one of the things that I learned was about when I was directing a play, having, it's called the super objective, and I can't remember if this was from Aristotle or if this was from Stanislavski, but basically the idea was that each play had one point that you were trying to communicate with, and it was like a one sentence phrase of, and so that every play, so even though I was doing classical plays, I would cut things out, which some people thought was like sacrilegious, but anyways, but my stuff really made sense, and when I was working with people, I really got them to understand what each scene was communicating and what they were trying to communicate, and how it all fit into basically the super objective, which was what the whole play was trying to communicate. And it could be something, I mean, I don't really remember all the super objectives that I had, or any of them actually, because it's been like 10 or 15 years, but people would come up to me and they would say, oh my God, I don't understand classical, and I don't normally like classical, but your play was amazing. And we had like literally zero budget for all the plays that I directed. But we still did such a great job because I really looked at what I was communicating and all of that stuff. So basically, somebody's texting me right now. Anyways, and I'm on my cell phone. So basically what I realized was that, what I also had a really strong understanding of what communication is. So what I'd like to go over is what communication is, basically. And what it is if you know that, and if you look at a play or a movie that you're basically trying to communicate to somebody else something, what communication is it starts from origination point, and it's an intention that goes over through some distance, usually to to like an ending point. So you have the origination point and then the effect point. And if you are getting that communication across to another person, you're pushing it with intention over to the other person, and you want to make sure that they get it. A lot of people look at communicate and don't really take it and break it down into its really basic parts of just putting an idea or an intention across to the other person and relaying it to them. But that other person also has to understand or duplicate what the person at the origination point is trying to say. So let me give you an example of when that doesn't happen. So basically, if you are going to communicate to someone like, oh, I'm tired, like let's say your boyfriend or something, if a girl's communicating to him and says, oh, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, and maybe you just say, I want to go to bed. And then the boyfriend goes, oh, yay, now we're going to hook up and all this other stuff. And really what you meant was, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. Then he's not really understanding or duplicating what you're saying. He's misunderstanding you. And then the communication didn't really get to him. also the other thing is that the person that you're trying to communicate to has to be paying attention to you, and you have to be paying attention to that person also. So if that person's not paying attention and you don't have that person's attention, you're really not getting your communication across. And then the end thing that you have to do to finish off the communication is basically acknowledge that you heard it. Let them know that you heard it. And that's basically what communication is. And so when you are directing a play, or that's why I was really good when I was directing a play or even movies or whatever I work on, I really understand that I'm communicating to an audience and I want to say, okay, what is this communication? What am I trying to say to this person? And then obviously if they're paying for the ticket, I have their attention. So, and then my object is to make sure that they understand it and that they can duplicate it, basically, not think that I'm saying something else that I'm not saying. So that's why I would always get these like really rave reviews on my directing, and also when I would act in college, I used to get people would just, come out of the woodworks and just be like, that was so amazing. I actually played an 80-year-old woman, and some people did not even realize that I was like 24 years old, maybe 23 years old, and I looked like an 80-year-old woman. So I really took on that character, and that was from knowing how to communicate and really play the part and stuff. So anyways, this is Charisse, and thanks for kicking it with me.